All right, what's up, guys? We are back with the Realness Lounge podcast 2024. What's up?
What up? 2024. You know what time it is. We're going up all year long.
Hey, we got KJ in the building.
What's up? Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
For
New
sure,
Year.
for sure.
Hey, New Year, new cut. We got Honey in the building.
What's cracking, y'all? Y'all know the vibes, big West Coast energy, baby. What's up? What's back New Year?
Yeah, we got the one and only Jay Still.
So good to be here. So good to be here.
Yeah. Listen to him from 3 to 7. And then we got Cheeseburger in the building.
Another 98.3 personality as well. We out here doing it this year.
Yeah, we are out here. And we got Jason in the building.
Yo,
what's going on? Appreciate y'all having me.
Thank you guys so much for tapping in. You know, it's a new year. Everybody has that new energy, new vibes, new goals, right? So I think it's important to talk about your mental health because I feel like I've seen a lot of posts, guys, and they talk about mental health. Like, what can I do to improve my mental health? Like, have you guys seen those on social media about people saying, I want to take control of my... Yeah, what do you guys think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You know, that's very important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take care of that.
Exactly. What about you, honey? Like, have you, about mental health? Everybody's making that their number one goal.
Definitely. You know, holiday time, it feels like the end of the year, something's always like tragic happening to people. So I feel like being with mental health towards the end of the year is really close to your family and close to your friends. So I just say, man, let that shit out. Just keep it a buck. Don't hold that bullshit in.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're struggling.
That. You know, I think it's cool because we're now seeing people talk about it, you know, because before I remember when, you know, I would make a post or I literally remember one time I talked about my mental health being off. Someone said, man, you a personality, quit being soft. Don't be posting that. Don't be soft. Like, you know, I'm going to delete you.
What?
And I'm like, and that was like, damn.
Like, whoa.
So I was like, wait. So,
Okay.
And that was years ago. And now it's like, people are actually, you know, encouraging you to open up. But I kind of had the mindset entering 2024.
Yes.
That, you know, I want to come with a clear path, being willing to open up and share and not, you know, not letting things from 2023 carry on to the new year that I'm not talking about. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love what he said. Like,
especially coming from a male perspective.
Yeah,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean?
Yes,
We're supposed to be
mental
Superman and all, but we got feelings too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about you, Cheeseburger?
You know, it's interesting because we're all used to seeing like the New Year's resolution vibe, you know what I'm saying? New Year, new me thing.
Yeah.
But I saw a strange post and it says something like, you know, for people who go to the gym, like, oh man, we're going to have all these New Year resolution people hogging up the gym, hogging up the machine.
Wow.
Y'all should just stay home. But I thought for a second and I said, but wait a second. It doesn't matter what the reasoning is. If a person decides to make a change, right, who are we to say no just because it inconveniences me? And if I'm being real, again, it's using the gym. Maybe I can't use it because more people are there, but that's because more people are trying to take action to make a change.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
my thing is, why should we discourage that? So I say that to say, I'm all for people taking it because you never know what it takes for people to get to the point where they realize they got to do something different or where they got to find out what's wrong. I think a New Year's resolution is sometimes that trigger for some people to look inside and be like, dang, what's different last year versus this year, you know, type of thing. So I say that to say again, man, just whatever reason you got a reason to make a change, go with it. It doesn't matter if it's small or whatever. Just do it. 'Cause, you know, we got to do it at some point.
Yeah, I like that. You know, take that opportunity. You know what I mean? Take that opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. And then what about you, Jason?
Well, I was going to actually expand on what you said about the gym thing. Yeah, I see a lot of people making the same exact post, like, oh, the gyms are going to be packed this time of the year now. But every other day, the rest of the year, people are talking about more people need to work out and, you know, talking about obesity issues and stuff and whatever in America. And now people want to do it. And now it's a big problem because they're going to be in your way. Like, you can't have it both ways.
Right.
I like
yeah.
That's true. And I agree. And a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are kind of reluctant to getting help. Like, oh, I don't need to get help. It could be a lot of pride. It could be a lot of, you know, I feel like people are just scared to reach out or like they don't want to look soft, like Jay still said. Like, oh, nah, man, like just suck it up, thug it out.
Right.
I've seen a lot of guys say, thug it out. And that's okay to thug it out. But, you know, physically, you know, but emotionally, there's the internal struggle that you're going through, right? Everybody in this room is probably facing an internal battle that nobody discusses. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, just to play a little devil's advocate, like me personally, I don't really do the New Year's resolution stuff. Like I'm already goal orientated. Like, you know, I already have goals like set, you know what I mean? You know, when I was young or little, like I did the New Year's resolution thing, but you know, kind of to touch base what Cheeseburger said, that's a perfect opportunity for someone to, be like, get that click or
Yeah,
snap. Like, yo, you know
new
what?
energy.
It's time to change. Like,
Absolutely.
it's, some people don't want to do it today, tomorrow, but, maybe a New Year's resolution finally clicks. You know what I mean? And who are we to judge somebody or knock somebody down for trying to better themselves? I will never, ever knock someone down for trying to better themselves.
That is true. That is true. What do
No,
I
I feel that. Man, shit, I'm one of them people that's about to be in the gym. I bought a gym membership like
Hey.
I'll go for like a week and feel like I didn't change my whole body. So I'm like, I got programs before. So I'm like, okay, look, I got to go.
There you go.
Going to Hawaii in a couple of weeks.
Hey,
Let me take my ass to the gym and actually put in the work like I used to when I was younger and just get it done. Because it's really not hard. You really just need to have like 4 to 6 weeks and your body going to adjust to the new change. So it's really not hard. But shit, all them damn females, all them damn programs and shit on sale. Y'all need to stop that because y'all be getting me at nighttime. I be just buying shit. I just be buying shit and I'm like, I ain't finna use this.
Order now. We'll throw in this package.
You feel me?
This TikTok shop is getting us some shit.
But that's a great goal to have though. Any time of the year, getting yourself together, getting your body back healthy. If you drink, smoke, if you go out, whatever, it's just good to go. Even if you don't go in there for an hour, you can go for 20 minutes and that's gonna make a difference throughout the whole path of your journey. So I feel like that's hella important to do.
Yeah, no,
I always say this, the hard part is showing up.
Man, for real.
No.
Hard part is
Like
showing
that.
up.
That's a fact, though, because so many people have a problem with just, like you say, it's not that hard. You just have to go and do it. But so many people have an issue just showing up consistently. And doing it.
Absolutely.
I feel attacked in this podcast. Hey, I'm honest though. No, for real. I actually realized, I always start things and I can't finish it. I don't know about you guys. You guys feel the same way?
Some stuff, some
things,
things.
yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, a lot of the times.
We're all guilty of
Definitely.
it.
Oh
one
yeah,
way or
definitely
another.
clean on Sunday, turn into clean on Monday too. So it'd be a part 1 and 2 sometimes. Yeah. Oh well, it gonna get done though.
I think it's about balance too, because for me, like I have so much on my plate that it's like,
Wow.
how can I get better at balancing in 2024? Because that's where I run into the
That's
issue
me.
of like, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. It's like I'm never gonna have the time to do this, so I need to be able to figure out how can I prioritize and organize to get things done and attack projects, so I can actually finish them. Because that's the big problem.
Yeah.
Well said, well
How,
said,
how
yeah.
can we, I feel like, this goes for Jason. How can we learn to be more consistent? Because this guy's always consistent with a lot of things. I feel like there's a lot of things that we could take from you.
Well, I think it's exactly what it is that you just said at the end there. You're never going to have more time to do it. Like it's never going to get easier at any other time. It's never going to be less of a hassle or whatever the case may be. So you just have to normalize doing it. Like every time you procrastinate, every time you put something off, you reinforce yourself as a procrastinator. Because if you're going to clean, for example, and you say, I'm going to do it tomorrow, nothing is going to happen in that moment, right? So you're just showing yourself that it's okay to say, I'm going to do this tomorrow. But it's not the little individual moments that matter. It's overall as a whole what it is that you're telling yourself. So it's all of the small moments. You put it off, but they group together to make you just a procrastinator as a person. And when it comes to the big stuff, you wind up pushing that off too because nothing happened with the small stuff. So why can't I push this off till tomorrow too?
Wow.
Yeah.
Small
I
stuff,
feel
big
attacked
stuff.
on
I
this
like
podcast again. I feel like y'all didn't know that.
We all struggle with it.
But it's a good learning
That's
lesson.
valid.
It takes a lot of accountability to say, hey, I'm not balanced. So what can I do in 2024 to be balanced? Or I'm depressed, right? Let's say somebody right now is watching this. They're depressed or they're anxious or they're going through anxiety. And some people are just like, it's a lot of pride to not make people get help. But at the same time, we have to swallow that pride, right? Because at the end of the day, if we don't face our demons, it's just going to get worse and worse for us. What do you guys think about that?
No, yeah, absolutely. That shit's never gonna go away. You have to face it. It's always gonna be there. So you have to go ahead and have, healthy coping mechanisms. Go to the gym.
Yeah.
I still deal with it. Personally. Like
I feel like we
depression.
all probably do.
Anxiety. I'm guilty of it.
absolutely.
Everybody goes through
Anxiety.
it. Like it's just part of life. But
I agree.
just for everybody watching, you're not alone. You are not alone. Everybody goes through that shit. But yeah, what helped me was, obviously, the gym, reading books and stuff like that. So
what do you feel like, honey, as well? Like, why do you feel like people are scared to get help? Like, they don't want to.
Personally, I feel like it's just denial. And I don't mean to be mean, but it's just like at some point you gotta shut the fuck up and do what you gotta do. Like it is hard and it is gonna be like, wow, this is a podcast about mental health. How can she say that? Because somebody gonna have to tell you at one point in your life, like, look, baby, you need to go to a therapist, or baby, you need to take care of your bills, or you just gotta have like. You gotta have some people. You have to have tough love, especially if they're procrastinators and they're in denial. A lot of people are in denial, and it's about being embarrassed or you don't want to be labeled as someone that's going through anxiety or
Soft,
everybody's so big with
judged, yeah.
labels.
Stigma.
Yeah, the stigma. I
We
feel like a
break
lot
that.
of like
Huge.
with men, and especially like with my
Especially
culture,
men.
with a lot of black men, like they're not taught to be able to be sensitive. But
Facts.
I mean, they come
That's
from
a
a
fact.
woman, so how can
Big
you expect
facts.
a man to be hard 24/7 and not have someone to relate to or to express how they're feeling, what they're going through? Like that's crazy to me. That a
part.
lot of women,
Wow.
kind of put men down, and even other men, like Jay still said, I'm gonna unfollow you because you're being soft. Like, when nigga,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Because I'm Jay
Like, if
still.
anything,
So
that makes me more of a man
what,
first.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking up.
Let me ask you too, as a woman, because I feel like there's a balance there, and I use that word already like twice. But here's what I mean. I feel like some women say, "Listen, I want my man to open up to me, but I also like I need him to like take care of business as well."
Yeah.
So if he's always soft or he's always in his feelings or he's always crying out, we don't want that. But I also want him to be able to to talk and open up. So
Right.
it's like, for me, I found myself like very vulnerable. There's times when I'm like, man, I'm really hurt by this. I'm in my feelings, but let me buck up because I already was yesterday about something else.
Yeah.
And I don't want to look
You just
soft as
keep
fuck.
putting it-
Yeah, right.
So just put it in your bag.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah.
do you feel
That's
like
heavy.
that's a thing, a balance, you know?
I feel like it really depends
I
on
like that.
who, like, the respect you have for that person. Because I'm not
Wow.
gonna sit there with my man and he's crying or whatever he's going through. of course I'm gonna console you and everything, but at the same time I'm gonna give you a hard pep talk because I would expect the same energy. Like, yeah, I'm a woman, but I'm a very masculine woman. So I'm not the type to be sitting there and crying all day. I might for a second or two, but I need somebody that's gonna hype me up. Like, you know what? I know you're going through something, but go harder because it's gonna get better. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you gotta have that balance of, okay, of course being there, but let's not become codependent on that shit either.
Right.
I
That's
don't
the
like
word
that.
right there, codependent.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
that. I feel like when people become really codependent in relationships and then they start that they're having mental issues or that they're stopped working or whatever's going on in family, I feel like they kind of become codependent on their partner, and that kind of that becomes too much pressure for the other person because they're trying to hold you down and keep you lifted up and also making sure that their
That's
self
a
is
lot.
good.
Yeah.
It can become a lot for a woman, and that's when you see women be like, "You too soft. I don't want that." Because
Right,
it's
right.
like
So it's
overwhelming.
like you cross, they finally lost the breaking point.
Yeah, it's
too
like,
much.
okay, it's too much. It becomes too much at a point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
I agree.
my personal opinion with that for sure.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Cheeseburger?
Well, I would say this though. I like to keep things 100, right? And one of the most important bills that everybody wants to pay usually is like the Wi-Fi bill, right? You be 100, right?
Okay.
There's a certain level of urgency.
Wi-Fi gotta be on.
There's a certain level of urgency that comes with paying that Wi-Fi bill. We need to have that same level of urgency for ourselves when we're not feeling right.
Wow.
You feel me? Because the reason I say that is because for me, I remember I had a roommate actually, and long story short, her boyfriend, mind you, he was cool. He used to come in and out. You know, he'd spend the night and work in the morning. And he came by one morning, and we cool. I think it was like maybe 6 a.m. I was playing video games, and he just saw that I was numb, right? And he left and went to work. For me, it didn't feel like much time passed when I saw him. And he said to me, he said, "Bro, you been playing video games this whole time?" I said, "Yeah, what you mean? You just got back." He's like, "Dog, I've been out for like 16 hours or what time period it was."
Yeah.
Now, I say that to say he was someone who helped me realize I was off, right?
Wow.
I say that because our tribe is hella important, right? Our tribe remembers who we are, and we're allowed to, deviate from who we are all the time, from time to time. But again, my homie, he was like, "Look, I think something's off, what may have you." Fast forward, I decided to look into psychologist and a psychiatrist, right?
That's good.
Previously saw the psychologist, but money tight, this and that. Stopped going for a while.
Yeah, that shit ain't cheap.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
and
not, that's true.
I got to a point where I went to go see the psychiatrist, and we was talking about prescription. A lot of things people don't separate as two things. A psychologist is going to employ different techniques, styles, talk therapy, and other type of methods to treat certain, not just mental illnesses, but behavioral things as well, right? However, psychiatry is the science and the medicine of it, right? Like different prescriptions for different things. Now, long story short, I was going the prescription route first because I said, I've seen a therapist before.
Shit, okay.
I went to two people who I was close with at the time, my homegirl and my homie.
Yeah.
I cut both of them off because they told me not to go to the psychiatrist. But here's the reason why. Because I was being stubborn and said, look, I don't like how I feel right now, One person is saying, oh, I think you shouldn't go. You should just walk and do this and do that. And again, I'm not faulting other people's way for addressing it.
No.
But I had tried that before and it didn't work.
Okay.
For you,
Right? So then I'm like, nah, I did what you said. It didn't work. My other homie said, oh, you just got to smoke some tree and whatever. Now, again, everyone's different.
Yeah.
But at the time, I said I was already doing that. And it didn't really seem to be working. Right? So for me, I look at it like this saying, if you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. Right?
That's it.
But if you're dealing with something that is unfamiliar, then you yourself must do something unfamiliar to approach it.
Wow.
You feel me? So my unfamiliar was go seeing a psychiatrist. So again, I got the prescription side of it. I went back to my therapist. Both of them work together. But those people, two people, one of them I'm not talking to this day. That's whatever. That was 2017.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I ain't worried about
remember the day too.
Right.
At
One of
3
them,
o'clock.
we're still cool. But I say all of that to say, man, is I got to the point where I go back to that Wi-Fi urgency. I said, nah, fuck that. Like, again, I respect you and it's cool. What I was hoping was, hey, like, all right, give it a shot. I got your back. If you feel something, I got your back. Nah,
That's
it
what you
was,
wanted.
if you're going to go do this, you on your own. Well, I'm like, all right, well, suck my dick. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I digress because, again, man, just you got to get to a point where you take action because you don't like the version or some of the things that you're doing right now. And you know that you got to do something different. You have to. So therefore, however you did it in the past, if it didn't work, you do something different.
Do something different.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I say. And to your point, man, or go to the gym. Go to the gym. If for some reason you don't feel like it's working, all right, then start reading and go into that. Go to the gym, reading, and then see a therapist as well. And like all of these things can be helpful, but don't be discouraged if just the one or two doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like just try to have that urgency to be like, all right, fuck it. Like the first thing I'm gonna do is pay my bills, but all right, what can I do for treatment type of thing?
I like that. What do you think about that, Jason?
Absolutely.
I think I have several different thoughts.
yeah, of course. Where do you begin?
So first and foremost, I agree with what you said about like the people that you keep around you. Like having a circle that you could trust is very, very important because too many people have friends that they just want to be like enablers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Wow.
just like, oh, they just agree with everything that you say. But your actual friends go say, hey, like you said, you're being a fuck up. You need to do what it is that you need to do. This is your fault that you're doing this way. Exactly. Yeah, that's what you need. Because otherwise it's not your friend. That's your yes man and your cheerleader.
friend,
That's not beneficial to you in life.
Wow.
And if you're not that type of friend yourself, it's hard to hear those things from somebody else. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
So,
Wow.
and then to what you said about like addressing it, I think a lot of people misunderstand what addressing it is. Like they get these feelings that they just want the feeling to go away without actually doing what it is that's needed to get rid of the feelings. Like it's an alarm. Like you're sad for a reason. You're anxious for a reason.
Listen
You're
to yourself.
whatever the fuck it is for a
It's
reason.
an
You need to
alarm.
fix it.
I
Like,
like that.
when your fire alarm in your house starts going off, you don't just turn the shit on, ignore the fact that your house is on fire. It's still gonna burn the fuck down. That's not what's actually the problem.
Your shit like a fire alarm.
Exactly, yeah. So you're sad, but your sad is not actually the problem. It's what is making you sad. You need to go address that shit. That's what you said. You need to have some level of accountability to be like, well,
absolutely.
this is what it is that I am doing. This is what I can fix. The only thing you control is what you can control. So.
That's what I feel like a lot of people lack right there is accountability. Like
1000%.
nobody wants to be accountable for, or maybe they have a lot of pride to be accountable. They could have prideful parents. It could be a lot of things, but accountability is the number one key to growth.
Yes.
If you cannot be accountable, you just can't grow. I mean, I'm sure you guys are aware about people lack accountability, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's where it starts is accountability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how can you
It
address or
does.
fix something if you're not aware of it? Or
I think
if
it's a
if
lot
you're
of
not
personal accountability for sure.
Yeah.
I'm the one person that'll be like, it'll get better. Like and I literally can relate to this situation where I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, how I'm feeling right now, or how this person's treating me, or like the situation I'm going through, it'll get better. It'll get better, and then it gets better, and then it goes right back to how it was because the behavior didn't change. I just said, let me just put this to the side instead of doing what needs to be done to make a change. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, then they have no reason to change because it was okay that they did it. So like,
Correct.
they're not going to look at themselves and be like, oh, I'm fucking up. Because
Yeah.
nothing happened.
100%.
Why would they
There's
change?
no boundaries.
Exactly. That's why you need the accountability.
Didn't take no
Yeah.
action.
1000%.
And I agree with that. And that's why, also I was thinking about, I was reading online too. It said culture can affect your mental health. And I 1000% agree with it. Because in the Latin culture, if you are, thinking that you're anxious, they think as you are loco. It's true.
They do
I mean, what do you think about that,
crazy.
KJ? You know.
Oh, you already know. If you tell your Mexican parents, your mom and dad that, oh, like, you know, I'm sad, I'm depressed. They don't give a shit. They really
Get
don't.
off,
They'll be
get
like,
off
hey,
your phone. That's why you're sad.
go get a damn broom. Go start cleaning.
Go
You know what
rake
I
the
mean?
yard.
Go get a damn broom. Go start. That's how our parents were raised, though.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They didn't.
I agree.
They didn't have that type of love where they could address us and be like, hey, you know, comfort you. You know, be like, oh, this is gonna be okay. Like, do this, do that. But no, like Mexican, like they just tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
no,
all
I feel
good.
that.
Like,
What about
you know
your?
what I mean?
Yeah. What about your guys' culture as well? What do you
Yeah,
think?
well, I mean, I'm mixed. I'm Puerto Rican and black. My mom is very, very sweet. She's a very sweet woman, but at the end of the day, she don't play that bullshit. She's not an enabler. She does not care. If you fucking up or you're doing bad or whatever, she's going, but what are you doing to fix it though? You coming home, you ain't got no job, you
Yep.
ain't got this, you know,
Yep.
certain situation with my brothers. She puts it out there like, I'm here to help you, but at the same time, I'm not gonna take care of this problem because you're grown and you gotta learn to do it yourself. Like, give you all the outlets, everything. But my family, very mixed dynamic and very, very strong opinionated people. So I come from a very strong opinionated background. They gonna just, like, I've always just been told, just tell it how it is, just keep it a buck. And that has helped me a lot with my mental health, with me raising my kids. I talk to my kids like they're teenagers sometimes because I
You
don't
have
have,
to.
I can't do the whole little, you're crying. Okay, why are you crying? Stop crying. Control your feelings. What's going on? I can't communicate like that. That's just me personally. So I feel like with my family, me growing up, my parents were very, very hard on all of us, not just the boys. It was equal. The girls gotta do exactly what the boys can do. Y'all can work. Y'all can do this. Y'all gotta be balanced. So I feel like they really try to teach us how to be balanced without trying to coddle us, though.
Well,
That's the thing, yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
just-
What about you,
just
Jay?
Be
Still,
real with your kids.
do you
Yeah,
feel
no,
like
for sure.
culture can affect your mental health? With your parents? childhood
Absolutely.
belief?
You know, my dad was very much hard on me. And I came from a
Like
world
fucked
where I
up.
lived with my mother and my grandparents, and they were softer, you know. So when I went to go live with my dad in the 8th grade, he was like, I'll never forget, he was like, you know, your brothers who have lived, you know, with me, you know, you don't see them breaking down the way that you break down over things because they were raised in this household and you were raised in a different household. And it really fucked with me a lot because I'm
Yeah,
like,
bro.
you know, I didn't, it was hard to understand, but it was also like, well, it's not my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I was like them. But
It's your fault, Dad.
But my dad, what he was trying to do is, you know, I was getting bullied a lot through middle school. So he was trying to like toughen
Shit.
me up. And it did toughen me up. And then later on in life, he went through his own situation where he would need someone to talk to. And he was like, you know, I never thought it was cool, you know, and I was raised that, you know, it's soft to open up about your feelings or to have, you know, a breakdown. And now that I'm a grown ass man and you know, I'm seeing, I'm able to be vulnerable. You know what I mean? And I guess I was going to ask, you know, the room this question. Do you think it's a generational change now? Because I feel like our parents growing up, there wasn't such thing as mental health and
Yes,
talking
I
about
agree.
it. And now you see in our generation, it's really encouraged to where parents and grandparents are like, this new generation is soft. You got, you know what I mean? So it's like, because they didn't talk about it. So like, how do you deal with that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, generational thing. That's facts, bro.
Yeah,
like for real, like
it's
from our
really
parents, parents. Like, I mean, just think about it. Back in the day, like times were really hard. Like we couldn't just pull out our cell phone and just hop on the internet and like get all of the access we have. Like right now, like times is easy. You know what I mean? So like, I forgot how it goes, but like it says like, men raise kids, or I forgot how it goes, but like pretty much like soft times raise soft men and hard times raise hard men. You know what I mean? Or like hard times raise, but like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I feel like,
feel like
yeah,
that, but
I
hard
agree with
times
KJ
make-
and, you know, Jay Still as well.
You know it.
Oh yeah, hard times make hard men make easy times make soft men.
thank
Wow.
you. Yes. And you know that's facts. Like right now we live in.
I'll put
easy
that on MySpace
times,
right
you
now.
know what I mean?
No,
So,
but
yeah. Thank you.
the thing is, what Jay's still saying as well, like what you guys said, it all comes back to their generation. Like, okay, back in the 50s, what did they do for
50s.
mental health? They put them in the crazy house. So now they're like, that's why you crazy, because I
Yep.
was in the crazy house. So it's like, but nowadays, when parents are feeling their mental health, now they're like, okay, anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
what is that? Like they're kind of foreign to it because they weren't taught how to deal with, like, even growing up, like I was never taught about anxiety myself. I had to go through anxiety.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn about the mental illness when
Yeah.
you're in that mental
Yeah, that's
illness,
true.
when you're anxious, when you're depressed. That's when you're gonna be like, what is anxiety? But like I said, everybody judges from the outside, like, oh, you're anxious. Until you go through it is when you can actually understand, man. Like, because I have anxiety, I suffer with it. I get anxious sometimes, even filming. And you know,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's all about taking deep breaths. Like, okay, when you're anxious, take a deep breath. Or, you know, you can exercise to help your anxiety, but anxiety is a real thing.
Yeah.
You get anxiety like, what if this happens? What if this happens to me?
The overthink. I feel like overthinkers have
Yeah.
anxiety bad.
Yeah,
You just sitting there in your
yeah.
own mind. That shit stir crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all smoke me a blunt because I ain't got time. Too many voices. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
Too much going on.
yeah, but when you have those thoughts, it's like sometimes you get so stuck in it, like with depression as well. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, to piggyback what you said, I mean, like, yeah, like back in the day, 50s, 60s, like when you said, oh, I have this, I have that wrong with me, like they thought you were crazy. They put you in a crazy house. And like, like that's,
No, yeah, definitely.
like
My
that's
parents
nowadays,
said
like, yeah, we have the tools and resources to cope with that type of, feeling and stuff like that. Because how many people have like, it's hard to say, but committed suicide to, depression and anxiety. Like that shit is real.
Yeah.
That shit is real.
What do you think about that, honey?
Me personally, my parents grew up in the 50s. So my dad, like I said, very, very strong-minded person. He would see people I would date and would be like, why is he so acting like a bitch? I'm like, Dad. And he would just be like, no, I'm serious, Valley. I get that, y'all arguing, but why is he sitting across the street from the house crying? It's like, what's going on? And I'd be like, Dad, I don't know. Well, he need to leave because I'm going to call the police on him because what is he doing right now? And I think that because my dad grew up in a very strong type of world, like going through still racism was still a thing in the 50s. Like it was. Him be living in LA, going to Crenshaw High School, having different type, you have gangs coming at you. You have all these different aspects. I feel like in that type of time frame, like you have to be taught to hold yourself down and to be strong. So I feel like our parents, sometimes they don't understand the whole mental health and going to a therapist and stuff. When my dad passed, my mom she's been going through it. And so I had to be like, Mom, like, let's go just talk to somebody. Like, let's just go to a family group thing. Like, we don't even have to be with just me and you. Let's go just with strangers and you go and sit and you guys talk and you counsel and stuff. And she was just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to that. I know. I'm not crazy. I'm not this. I'm like, Mom, I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm just saying that you need to talk to someone that you can relate to.
You're not alone.
I can't
yeah.
relate
Talk to someone.
losing a husband. I can relate to losing a dad. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things that I could help her with and I could talk to her with, but she needs to talk to someone that's on her level, that has been through this, that's going through this. And I feel like that's been the best option for us, is just doing stuff online. Like not even going to an actual facility, but doing it over the phone and doing Zoom and stuff.
Oh,
and it's helped a lot.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Even
she's
just talking
now,
about it,
she's like, oh, okay. So it's not like, okay, I'm crazy. Like you said, like they would put you in a mental institution back in the day. So now she's kind of more open to talking to people and, kind of like, being vulnerable with someone else. And I think that it really does help to have a different outlet besides just your family.
I love that. I love that. What do you think about that, Jason?
Yeah, you nailed it. I feel like a lot of us deal with anxiety and depression, but it's like, who do you talk to? So I always know the person or people that I'm going to go to when I'm feeling like that, because you're going to have the people that don't understand, and it either makes it worse or it makes you want to be like, not be as vulnerable or open up and hold it in. And holding it in is not the right answer. So when I'm feeling a certain way, I gather my thoughts and I talk to that safe person or that group of people that I know can understand. Believe it or not,
I love that.
I've been extremely nervous about opening up about mental health on the radio, and I've gotten better with that over the last couple of years. And I felt like one of the biggest things, that affected me in 2023 was the fact that, all the jokes I make, all the music I play, all the shit that I talk on the radio.
Yeah.
The one thing that really affected me was somebody came up to me and said, I heard you talk about mental health, and that really meant a lot to me. And I was like, what? Like, not me giving you Drake tickets, not, it's like,
writing him about that.
You said something that as a black man, it really hit home for me, and nobody else said that. And I'm like, so now I feel more comfortable being that vulnerable on the radio, because you don't know who all, can relate to it, but doesn't want to admit it or doesn't know who to talk to.
Drake tickets, like,
yeah.
Like, you got them Drake tickets.
No, you feel more fulfilled, what I mean? When you're
absolutely.
I had to reach out because when he said anxiety, like in somebody, I go through that. I live with that for many years. I was like, I had to reach out to him because it was like, man, like I wasn't alone. I feel like sometimes I'm alone. Like people think, but I'm like, bro, if you were to be in a mindset of anxiety, you would understand it. So I really applaud Jay Still for even like speaking on it, bro.
Speaking about
big
for
facts.
real.
What do you think about that, Cheeseburger?
On the radio, 98.3.
To kind of go back to culture, especially, the biggest thing is, I think, the amount of effort people are putting into better understanding it themselves, right? Or not even just, I don't know what this feels like, but I read a lot of like self-development books, right?
Oh, yeah.
And something that's interesting is that as we get older, we were starting to realize our parents are also adults who were just trying to figure this shit out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I say that because you know what? I peeped that, like my mom and my dad, there's certain things that they are good and not good at.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So for me, I realized like I don't resent or hold anything to them sometimes because I'm like, they loved me the way that they knew how to love me, right?
Wow.
And communicated and helped the way that they could help. Now, in the areas they did it, it's because, of course, they have, their other things. But I say that because it was one time I was talking to my pops. And long story short, we were, talking about a family member that's close to us. And, they've been going through some hard times. And my pops is, I think, 61, 62. And I think that's probably the first time I heard him cry on the phone.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I say that because the way I was talking to him, again, because I've been through my journey, right?
Wow.
And not just with, therapy, but again, self-development. Because I think anxiety is linked to confidence.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Now,
1000%.
we can be anxious for a lot of things, but I'm like, all right, well, shit, I got to build my confidence up. So I'm going to try to read certain things so I'm, better for myself so I can be more confident. Mm-hmm. But I go back to that because, again, in that light, with my pops, he was breaking down with me. And I was like, look, Dad, it's okay. And I was like talking to him in this way. And I didn't, talk down or negative to him because I'm like, nah, that's my pops. But this is something that I'm good at because he knows how to fix cars and do all that stuff. He can't do what I do. I can't do what he does. So I say that that's where we can come in and help each other. But from a generational standpoint, it's up to us to recognize that, like culturally, like the way that our parents did things, it was wrong. Or, mom may not want to go out because she's hesitant. But again, that's just because they have their own reasons for that. But how can we fill that in depending on who that circle and who that, tribe is?
I agree. What do you think about that, Jason?
So I have a quick thought on what you said. And I will say that I've never dealt with like extreme anxiety personally. But my perspective on it has always been like, I've talked to a lot of people who deal with anxiety. They worry about this. You worry about something is going to happen. And my perspective has always been on, like you said, the confidence thing. It's if you felt like you could do everything, you wouldn't worry about something coming up that you couldn't be able to handle because you've shown yourself you can handle whatever it is over and over again. So you've built up that confidence in yourself. Okay. So if you're worried A is going to take place and you get better at handling A, what do you have to be anxious about?
Your thoughts, yeah.
And then for the rest of it, I think that everyone has their own ways of handling stuff. I think that the only wrong way is using it as an excuse to not do anything. Like it's fine that you're sad. It's fine that you're feeling whatever it is that you're feeling. But the problem comes when you're sad. So you want to spend a week sitting around doing nothing and just expecting it to go away, thinking about how sad that you are. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, whatever you focus on, you're going to amplify. If you like, have you heard the thing that people do where, if I tell you to not think about a pink elephant, you can't not think about the pink elephant because it's in your brain.
Right?
Exactly. You know the pink elephant is in your mind, but you can still go on about your day while it's there, and eventually it will go away on its own. But while you're trying to make it go away, all it's going to do is be there.
Yeah. Dang, I feel that. I feel that.
Hey, you know what? In therapy, they actually tell you to think about a pink elephant too.
I'm dead.
I wonder why.
Well, but I get it though. I get his analogy because it's like you focus. What was that quote called? It goes, if you focus on shit grows.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then what was the other part? I forgot what was the other. If you focus on shit grows. If you focus on yourself, you grow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you gotta grow by focusing on yourself, not on the shit that, I'm depressed, but what are you focusing on? Your happiness? Are you focusing on you being a better person? Are you focusing on you taking care of that mental health? And like I said, a lot of the times people are like not wanting to because like you said, people just want to expect things to go away. It is not going to go away until you handle it. And also with therapy, right? With therapy, people are like, oh, I'm not going to therapy. That didn't work for me. Did you do the work that your therapist told you to do?
Real talk.
Because if you don't listen to what is being taught to you and you're just like, you're just wasting an hour of Zoom and not doing shit. Yeah, you got to do the work. If you want shit to change, you got to do the work. If your therapist says, go buy a book, you go buy that fucking book.
Right, yeah, make a list, do that, yeah.
Yeah, facts. No, I got two things for that. Kind of to piggyback what you said. It's really important on who you surround yourself with. Like, I swear to God, that's really true. Like, surround yourself with the right people, you'll do right. You know what I mean? Surround yourself with, 5 people who surround themselves with, bums, you're going to be the 6 bums. Surround yourself with the 5 billionaires, you're going to be the 6 billionaires.
Yeah.
So that is really important to me. 2 things. That one, you are who you surround yourself with, and it's very important, like your circle. And then 2, nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to come and save you.
That's a good one right there. Nobody is going to save you.
Shit, I lost both my parents by the age of 25. I'm still going. What I mean? Like, you got to just, nobody's going to come and save you. You just gotta
Save yourself.
save yourself.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, real shit.
What do you think about, honey, though? Like, therapy's not going to work. When people say, oh, therapy didn't work for me, but they just, I don't know, listen to the lady. So, like, you talk to somebody, like your friend, to tell you to leave that man, and you didn't leave that man. You just wasted her hour of time, you know?
Right? No, facts.
So it's like, but what do you think about that? If you don't do the work, it's like in gym too, like in gym.
Literally, yeah. If you don't put effort and you actually try, it goes with study, and that comes with being a doctor. Literally, anything in life. If you don't practice and do it, the shit's not gonna get done. You're not gonna know what to do. You're not gonna know how to read. You're not gonna know how to fucking ride a bike. It literally goes with anything in life. To be real, it does. And like just going off of what Cheeseburger said, with him going to talk to someone and then having to go to the medication side. That, like, I commend you. Like, that's something that I had an issue with when I was like, I was going to therapy, and then I'm like, okay, I still kind of feel off. Like something is not, it's not registering.
No.
I'm too mad all the time. I'm going off. Like something's wrong. So when it came to like this doctor talking to me about, well, let me send you to someone and they can talk to you, evaluate you. I went to go do it, and it just got, for me, it got a little too real. And I was just like, okay, you want to put me on this medication. I don't know how this is going to affect my brain and how it's going to affect me. Like, I need to take a step back.
Pass me that Zaza
Let me,
pack.
man, I'm not finna take no tranquilizers. I'm not crazy. You feel me? I get lost at the time frame with everything going on in my life. It was just very overwhelming. And I felt like because I was so overwhelmed with so much responsibility that I've never really had to take on, it just threw me off. So I felt like me talking to someone helps me personally. I felt like that whole try to go on the medication side, I'm like, okay, well, I've never even done therapy. So let me try to do this first, see if it's going to work. And then if it doesn't, okay, I'll be open to going down that path. So I had to halt something like, let me try this first. Let's come up with a plan. And for me, therapy has been working for me. I don't feel like I'm get as pissed off or as mad at people. You know what I'm saying? I'm more getting back how I am focused. I'm a workaholic. So that's where my energy goes into working. Like, that's my thing. I love to work, DoorDash, security, shit, whatever. That's my thing.
That normal
keeps me,
self.
that's my normal stuff. Is my grind, my hustle, taking my kids out, doing my normal thing, my self-care, just stuff that I like to enjoy doing. I'm getting back into traveling. I feel like therapy for me has really helped that because it's helped me tap into myself, me figuring out like what goals do I have, like long-term, like what kind of friends do I want to have?
Good shit.
If I want to have a partner, like what kind of partner do I want to have? I have to take care of me before I can try to have all these other things that I want. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. So that's where I'm right now. I'm just taking my time and taking it day by day, and this shit. It's been going good.
I love that you're in therapy. I'm in therapy myself.
Yeah.
You learn a lot there. What do you think about that, Jason?
Yeah, I went to therapy before, and I actually carry something my therapist told me in life. She said, you have to go through the pain to get out of the pain. And I remember it was used as far as a relationship. I was really, dealing with some anxiety and depression from a relationship that I was in. I had moved to a new town, gave up a job for a girl that didn't work out.
Shit, bro.
So it was just a mess. I'm like, man, I'm having a hard time dealing with this. And I remember she sent me this email, the girl at the time, and I didn't want to open it. I'm like, man, it's going to fuck with my anxiety. It's going to mess with my day.
I feel that. You got trigger me.
I don't want to get that closure that I know is coming. So I'm not opening the email. She's like, you need to go through the pain to get over this pain. If you keep avoiding it, it's going to continue to eat at you, and you're not going to get through the situation. So I finally did, and it taught me something. Now I'm in a better space whenever I'm going through some anxiety. I'm like, kind of like what you said, I've dealt with this before.
Yep.
Here's how to deal with this. Go through the pain. It's going to hurt for a little bit, but you've already been through it before. So do what you need to do so you can get over it.
Wow. What do you think about that, Cheeseburger?
Yeah, I think sometimes, a lot of times in life, we got to remember to play to our strengths, but also make things easier for ourselves, right? So when you talk about doing the work, like myself, I see a black lady therapist. I ain't gonna tell y'all her because I don't want y'all taking her up, but but I bring that up because, man, when I tell you that I can, take off that iron cape or open that door, it's like I'm talking to like my mom almost in a way. You feel me? So to me, and again, I say that because if I'm gonna go to therapy, I'm like, well, shit, let me go see a sister because she's gonna care about me as, as a human being and as a person. Now, to each their own on how they do it. I'll go to a restaurant, ask for a black server. I don't care. That's just me. But I say that because I just want to go with someone who, at least, I believe can empathize or sympathize with me closer to somebody else with. Now, that's not to say anybody else can't.
Yeah.
But I say that because the same goes for my psychiatrist. He's Chinese, which is kind of different, but somewhere. But I say that because these are people who I was able to be raw with and be like, yo, these are some of the things, not even just I feel this way, but it's like, yo, if I walk around the corner, most people can't tell, I'm 6'3", I'm a big motherfucker, right? I walk around the corner, I startle somebody, they're gonna be scared. Do I care? Nah, not really. But there will be a thought that I'm like, bro, am I that scary or menacing that I'm always scaring people? You know what I'm saying? And it started to like kind of mess with me for a little bit. But if I say that to a sister, she's going to understand that and receive it in a way better than somebody else would. But I go back to that because I'm like, that's why I'm so consistent, because I can open up that door because it doesn't feel like it's weird. Wow. The irony, though, is that I actually saw a black male therapist prior, but he and I just didn't gel. You know what I'm saying? Like I went to him, you know, I talked about certain things, I opened up, but I just didn't appreciate, you know, some of the things he talked about. And when I confronted him about it, because yes, this is a therapist, but this is also a person, right? And I'm going to be 100 after the session, just like about how I feel. And at the time, again, we just decided to go separate ways. But I go back to that point where it's trial and error. You know what I'm saying? You got to trial and error it out. But my thing is, if I'm going to trial and error it, shoot, let me just play to my strengths. Let me go find a therapist. If I'm questioning my sexuality or something like that, go to a therapist who may specialize in something like that. If you think you got something with childhood trauma, go to that. Now, a hard thing is finding it, but you know, we had collaborated with Black Therapists in Arizona.org. They're a dope non-for-profit organization. They have a directory of Black therapists in the state of Arizona. Black Therapists in Arizona.org. I highly recommend people check it out. You can look for therapists based on your zip code and stuff like that. And, you know, I remember I was like, you know, all up on you. I was like, hey, we gotta meet with him. We gotta meet with him. And it was just because I say this, man, like, you know, with radio, there's a lot that can be said. I can talk about, you know, entertainment stuff or whatever. But as a black male, as a black man, I have a service to my people, my culture, to put something in front of the masses that can benefit somebody. Because like you said, man, you never know how much you make a difference. And I never actually got to tell you this story. Last year we did Power of a Toy, right? And, you know, we've had where we collecting toys on the west side. And this older brother approached me. He drove up and, you know, people sometimes see the tent and they're like, oh, you guys giving stuff away or something. He came by because he straight up said, yo, I saw the radio tent. And to be honest, I'm not doing that good right now. And he was probably about 60 plus years old, gray hair. And he was like, yo, I'm not doing too good right now. Like literally, and this is happening while I'm just, you know, working, collecting toys. And I still with him. And I talked with him for a minute and he was just kind of, he was dealing with being alone because he's like, a lot of his family wasn't around. And this is around the holidays. This is a year ago. Yeah. And I tell the story because at the time I pulled up a phone number for a mental health service. I can't remember it was a mobile mental health crisis unit. Oh, wow. That's also something I want to recommend people do. In the event, if you yourself or someone that you know you believe is experiencing a mental health crisis, right? Most major cities, most states, they have some type of mobile mental health crisis unit where they'll have, where they'll have, you know, social workers, they'll have behavioral health specialists, they'll have psychologists who will actually arrive. Majority of them are like non-for-profit, and some of them might get funded from the state. But I say that because that's what I was reaching out to, and they recommended that he go to a location. No, they told him they can meet him somewhere, but he said, "Nah, I'd rather just go talk to someone." And then I took his number down. He called me like later on that night and said, "Yeah, man, thank you so much for putting me in touch with them," and so on. And I say that because a lot of the times, you know, we as individuals can be the example, you know, for other people to find that help. But again, I say that because, man, I'm like, if I'm dealing with the stuff that I'm dealing with and other people are, again, I'm like, that's why I also feel like I take a lot of effort into learning about it myself and becoming a true advocate for it. Because again, there's people who are dealing with it and I've dealt with it myself, but sometimes we end up being the example to help people find that help. Because sometimes people can relate to me better, you know? Like people can relate to me based on whatever criteria, based on anyone else here type of thing. So, yeah.
Okay. And I love that, you know, Cheeseburger, because, you know, a lot of people, they're scared to get help, but it's like he reached out for a reason. He was in his vulnerable mindset and he wanted that help. And I think it's important, you know, if you guys are watching this episode and you feel every single word we're saying and you're just like, man, like, you know, I'm stuck. I don't know where to go. Do not be afraid to pick up that phone and call a therapist. Like if somebody wants help for their mental health, what can they do, KJ?
Shit. What can you do? I mean, what I would say personally is, not always family and friends are going to be there. Sometimes people need help asking for help. You know what I mean? Like people, but whether it's a pride thing, whether it's a soft or being hard, whatever the case may be. But no matter what, just kind of like what you just said, pick up the phone. Like whether it's a family or friend, whether it's a call line. Just pick up the phone, give them a call. Like, not always family and friends are always going to be there for you, but yeah, just pick up the phone and just reach out to somebody.
Yeah,
Whether it's a
reach
call
out.
line, family or friends. But yeah, that's what I would say. And also hit the gym, get them
Hit
gains.
the gym.
For real, hit the gym. Yeah. So
What about you, honey?
For me, I would say honestly, having another outlet, whether it be like you said, it could be your friends, family, even to me personally, talking to a stranger. I could be talking to someone that goes on my story on Instagram or something, and it's just so relatable. Like me and Cheeseburger, we've chopped it up a few times, and it feels like I know this nigga. You feel what I'm saying?
Huge, bro.
Like because of how we talk, and we he
Wow.
gives me advice, and it's relatable, and like he'll send me like little affirmations, send me little stuff, and it's like someone that I don't know is so help and support me in this journey that I'm going through that doesn't even know me. You feel me? So it's always could be someone a stranger. If y'all out there, y'all can hit me up, hit KJ, hit anybody up on this platform, and we'll be there for you. However we can help you. If it's resources, just having a 10-minute conversation.
I love that.
I feel like all that, those type of things help. And I think that sometimes it's best to talk to someone that doesn't know you, that's not biased, that's going to be cookie cutter and just keep it straight up real with you.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what I would say.
What about
Well
you, Jason?
said.
Yeah, I was gonna piggyback what you said. Like, call the radio station, because believe it or not, like people think that they're too cool to listen to my problems, But honestly, I've been through enough shit that I probably have dealt with something or know somebody that's dealt with something that you're going through, and it's a safe space. You know what I mean? Plus, because we're tapped in with a lot of different things in the community, we might have access to some resources that you wouldn't know about.
I love that.
We can help get you there. So don't look at us as like too big for your problems, or that we're like this big media outlet. We're actually here to help. It's community first, especially any radio station that I'm affiliated with is serving the community first.
Absolutely.
I mean, everybody can get music anywhere.
That
You
is-
can,
Yeah.
It's about serving the community
I love
first.
that.
So
You
that's
would think that
Man,
that
that's
y'all-
grateful,
man,
for the
that they're
community,
like,
for the
well,
people.
he's with celebrities
That's
and
huge.
they're
Nah,
doing this and
yeah,
doing that, but y'all people at the end of the day,
At
y'all
the end of the day,
Wow.
for the
Don't be
people,
afraid to
man.
reach out to Power 98.3.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Man. Shout out Jay
Yeah.
Still.
Actually, I also wanted to mention too. And this is just me, right? I'm sure a lot of people can relate. I have this like innate fear, right, of that when the time comes for my parents to not be here, that I'm going to be destroyed, right? And I say that because when I'm on social media and I see people close to me and their loved ones pass away, I'm like, damn, I wish there was something I could do. But, I only do my own personal work on just preparing for something like that or dealing with something like that. But, when I saw that that was your situation, that's why I'm just like, I exercise that because I realized, a lot of people would appreciate that, and also my thing is, man, it's because I know if and when that time happens for me, whoever, I don't care the number of people, if it's 100 or 1, that I would hope someone do that for me, because I don't know what it's going to be like, but I can only imagine it's possible. And of course, you always want to be delicate and be respectful of people's space and how they handle things. But like, I just looked at it like, yo, I mean, we were in the same circle. Like, we're only 2-3 degrees removed from knowing each other. So I say, why not extending that? But also because I'm emotionally available to do that.
Wow.
And I say that because don't jump into something and try to help somebody with something. Because again, you're hearing their stuff and you don't know what it is. You don't know how far it's going to go. And I'm not a therapist, but I just say, because I've done my own personal stuff. But I say again, though, it's something that I think is definitely worth mentioning, and what you could do resources wise is Black Therapists in AZ.org.
Black Therapist AZ, guys, make sure you tap in.
It's a directory of Black therapists for
Wow.
you to look up and connect with. Now, another big service, because I've used this as well, is the 988 number. So you can text or call.
Posted about that.
Yeah,
Posted
text
about
or call 988. That's another service. Again, you can call it at any point and there's always someone available. Like, you can go talk with that person and they can help you with certain things. And depending on where you are, emotionally or mentally too, they can also, provide certain services and things like that. So Yeah, it's
Wow.
988. You can call it or text it.
988, guys.
Big.
Tap
That's
988.
in.
huge.
Yo, we
And
will
then,
drop the information on the video.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
definitely in the description.
We're gonna drop it down right here, guys. And then
Yeah.
also, Jason, to add on to that, getting resources, what can people do?
I'm a big believer in perspective and accountability. Just because you're going through something, it does not mean you're a victim to that thing. That is a choice, and that is how you choose to deal with it.
Man, I like that,
And
man.
when you assign out the blame
Mental
for
strength.
whatever it's happening, you're also giving away your power to change it. So when you take the responsibility for whatever is going on in your life, a lot of people don't like to do that. They don't like to be accountable, like we talked about. But the thing is, if you've caused it, you can fix it. So that is a very important stance to take. And as also everything is how you view it. So if something happens to you or happens for you, it is up to what you choose to do with it.
Wow.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like I said, guys, everybody in this room, we're here for you. I want to thank 98.3 for sure. Jay Still
in the
and
building.
Cheeseburger for
Shit.
tapping in.
Absolutely.
And, really speaking on
Cheeseburger.
and the Jason Lamar right here, guys. He's really
Yo,
Yes.
Jason Lamar, man.
he had a lot of good wisdom. And make sure you guys tap in. It's at the Jason Lamar.
Yes.
Donald Cheeseburger. Make sure you guys
Check
listen
out
to
their
him as well.
videos. Check out their videos for real. Yeah.
Check out their videos. And we got Jay Still. And like I said, guys, make sure you guys tap into, everybody, on this radio. They have really good, genuine hearts, guys. Thank you, Jason, also for giving us that wisdom. And Honey and KJ, guys, we're back. It's 2024.
Man,
we outside.
Yeah.
When we
We
say we
outside with the
outside,
mental health. okay?
2024, my Kobe year.
I'll be wanting to party with y'all because I see y'all always out.
Yeah, I know. Uh-huh.
got
Come on, KJ, you with
When
that?
can I DJ a party
They
for
be
y'all, man?
outside.
As soon as they get
We'll have to link up. We gotta link up.
I
I don't know.
Y'all be outside.
I don't know if they want both of us there, though. 'Cause we
Yeah,
don't-
no,
The next time
Yeah, I'm
we
gonna go all.
have an event or something, we're gonna
put
we got our own
98.3
DJ
on
coming
there.
through.
Yeah, let's do it.
No, all you guys are coming through.
Oh,
all
you got
invited.
Jason, everybody. Jason bringing the beer.
Jason, like, don't play with me.
Let's go.
No, don't go out.
It's overdue for real.
As long as there's some
Hey,
down
Jason, no, we be turning up the city.
Jason is
Yeah.
awesome.
We be
guys.
turning up the city.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate it. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys tap into the Realness Lounge podcast, Spotify, Apple. Leave a like, comment, share. And next time at the 30-minute mark, whoever shares, likes, and subscribes, you're going to get a whole reel. We're going to share it everywhere. We're going to blast that. We're going to have even Jay still share it.
Let's
too.
do it.
I got some merch. We might even get some
Whichever you guys
merch,
took from, if you guys took from this in any type of way, share it and we will repost it. 98.3 will
Absolutely.
also repost it, guys. You're not alone, so make sure you guys always tap in. And like I said, guys, this is the Realness Lounge podcast. Honey, KJ, and
Tap in,
Jason
man.
up in
Thank y'all for the gas, man, for real.
Anytime, guys. Thank you guys so much.
Tap in.
Yeah.